Well, howdy there, partner.
I hope you're having a darn tootin' good day, because I know I am. And first of all, a massive congratulations to everyone who paid attention to this morning's show, because if you did, you know that I had some spot on callouts. Not only did I call for a new all-time high, but I kind of gave you the exact level that we should be looking for. And just like that, Mystic Matt pulls it off again. And here I am for the second act of this show, where in this video, I'm going to be breaking down how the high we had today is either going to be the all-time high, as in we're about to turn and take a bit of a hit, and I'll be explaining why, or our other option is actually a huge gap up. I don't think it's going to be a little bit move up or a little bit move down. I think the information that we're about to get as it relates to inflation is going to seal the deal on the bulls absolutely dominating or the bears coming out of hibernation. And in this video, I'll be breaking it all down. And yes, I'll be giving you those exact levels that I'll be looking for. But very quickly, if you could help me out, and I know this is annoying, but truly it really is super helpful to me, the community, and the team behind all of this, is if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. And with that being said, let's rock. By the time the world's largest casino officially kicked us out on the day, here was the headline. S&P 500 closes at another record high as NVIDIA results validate the AI boom. So yes, the S&P 500, the barometer for the overall stock market, hit a brand new all-time high of 6,508, which means year to date, we are officially up 10%. Now, if we look at the context of the NASDAQ, we're not at an all-time high, but we're pretty close. The NASDAQ, that tech-heavy sector, is up 12%, and that means we are only a mere about 1% away from the all-time high. And even the small cap sector is looking pretty dang good. Though it's not an all-time high, like we have to go a little bit farther back, it's only 3.9% away. But as you're about to find out in this video, depending on how the information goes tomorrow morning, this thing could be very, very close to an all-time high. So the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Russell all looking very good. And Bitcoin is actually looking a little bit weaker, making a fresh low here, not quite recovering. Of course, this can all change on a dime, but just letting you know that a lot more people right now are focusing on equities rather than the granddaddy of all crypto. So to understand what happened today, we kind of have to rewind a little bit to what went down last night right after the market closed. We heard from NVIDIA, the stock that is leading the entire market higher, letting us know what in the world is going on with the AI boom. And at first, things were a little bit pessimistic. Even NVIDIA has speed limits. Strong AI chip sales come up a bit short for the market's only $4 trillion company. So right after the market closed yesterday, we got the official numbers from NVIDIA, ticker symbol NVDA. It beat on top and bottom line. It beat on EPS, it beat on revenue, and it even announced a $60 billion stock buyback. So that all sounds pretty good, and you're right. But all of a sudden, people started diving into the numbers and they realized in terms of a revenue, even though it beat, in terms of the subcomponents, it missed on data centers ever so slightly. And on top of that, it even kind of said, hey, we haven't been selling anything to China, and there was a little bit of political tensions there. So because of that, even though it beat, we did see an initial reaction to the downside. But obviously, if you paid attention to the chart today, you realize that we kind of pumped all the way into market open, and that's how quickly things in the market change. Right before market open, breaking, NVIDIA in talks with the US to sell Blackwell AI chips to China, and this was being reported by Fox. And just like that, the boys were back, or to put it another way, called the ambulance, but not for me. The old Kansas City shuffle, the old trickaroo. So that's how we kind of started off the day, but I should also let you know, around 8:30, we did get a very important macroeconomic report. US economy grew faster in second quarter, new estimate shows. Consumer spending, growth in AI add to the GDP revision. So basically what you need to know is we got the GDP report an hour before the market opened. They expected 3%, came in at 3.3. That is very good because it means our economy is expanding, especially when the recent fears have been more so related to stagflation, which remembers when you have inflation with no growth. So right here, the fact that we're seeing some growth, obviously the market really liked it. And even though we faltered a little bit at the start of the day, just the first 30 minutes, we had a strong pump into close in the SPY and the NASDAQ. Even the Russell had a nice push there. Once again, the only weak thing we're really seeing is Bitcoin. And right now, in the very short term, it's kind of suggesting a little bit of a rotation from Bitcoin to other cryptos and also the equities market. In terms of how how players played throughout the day, well, you can see the options flow in the S&P 500 was long and strong. Buying calls, selling puts, a lot of aggression, very bullish. Same thing in the Mag 7, a little bit more of hecticness, but overall the trend is up and up and up. And then I also want to show you this tool right here where you can see large players in terms of the entire New York Stock Exchange, a little bit more related to the Russell, but still very important. We're just kind of buying into close. So not super aggression like we saw yesterday, but once again, 2 days in a row of them being more bullish than anything else. So that's the price action throughout the day. In terms of the breaking news throughout the day, EU proposes removing tariffs on US goods after Trump demand. Obviously, that is bullish. European Union to remove tariffs on US industrial goods, triggering cuts for EU autos. So it seems as if, once again, surprise, surprise, the administration, the Trump administration, what they want to happen from this trade war, well, it looks like they are going to get it. The other piece of news relates to the drama between Trump and Lisa Cook, a current sitting Fed governor. Fed Governor Lisa Cook sues to stop Trump from firing her. Remember a couple days ago, he's like, hey, I want you out because of that whole loan mortgage fraud thing. Well, she's saying, actually, you can't do it. And we're going to find out about more of this tomorrow. Lisa Cook hints at a clerical error to blame for any mortgage application discrepancy. The actual discrepancy is more of why did she have two primary addresses? You're not supposed to do that because of the risk to the banks giving you the loan. Anyway, she's blaming someone else because that's what you do in this day of politics. We will get more details tomorrow, Friday, to round out the week. Judge in Lisa Cook case sets Friday hearing on Trump effort to fire the Fed governor. So this particular piece of drama, this particular narrative, we will get more tomorrow. But what's more important than that actually comes before the market opens. And this is what's going to be setting the tone for tomorrow and arguably the remainder of the week. And I could even take this to the next level and say this is going to have huge implications on the next chapter of monetary policy. 8:30 a.m. ET tomorrow, Friday, August the 29th, we will be getting the PCE report, the personal consumption expenditure. That's a lot of letters. It's a lot of weird sounding words to tell you to pay the freak attention because this is the most important inflation report, and that's literally from the Fed themselves. So in terms of, are we getting a rate cut, hike? Are we going to keep it constant? What in the world's going on? It will be decided by this report. And of course, I'll be streaming it. I hope you guys get enough rest because we're going to be streaming at before 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. So please pay attention to it because it's going to basically influence, are we getting the rate cut? As of now, we're sitting at 4.25%. According to the Fed Watch Tool, 87% chance that yes, we do get a 25 bips rate cut at the September 17th meeting. According to Polymarket, pretty much the same thing. They're around 80% chance, so they agree with each other. But these odds are really going to solidify after we get that inflation report. Inflation comes in at expectation or lower, as in cool, that is good. Expect the market to explode. If it comes in hotter than expected, that's not going to be pretty, and you might want to be looking at the market having kind of a serious drop. In fact, what we're seeing right now is some wild positioning. We closed out the day at 6,500. This is for tomorrow. People are either betting on 6,550, maybe all the way up to 6,600, or a drop to 6,450, or maybe a drop to 6,400. So we are seeing some pretty sizable bets. These are zero DTE bets. This is the live open interest. Granted, there are more calls in play, so maybe that gives you a little bit of an idea of the market, but geez, this is going to be a wild one. In the realm of specific positioning for the SPY is currently trading around 649. I'm seeing a lot of bets at 650, so pretty close, and then past that, we might be talking about 655. Looking at the NASDAQ, we close around 577. 577 is roughly where I am. Lots of bets coming in at 580, but once again, we have support at 570, and last but not least, the Russell, which might be the most sensitive sector to an actual rate cut, trading in the realm of 236, and we find out where that is. We have support at 235, big bets coming in at 239 and 240. So those are some of the major levels I'm looking at. Obviously, we had positive options flow today. Overall price structure is strong, higher highs, higher lows. That's what happens when you hit a new all-time high. But the most important thing you really need to understand is tomorrow at 8:30, it is a binary event. Unless the information is leaked to this person or that person, and maybe it is, maybe maybe it isn't, you are flipping a coin. Either inflation's coming in hot or it's coming in cool. If it comes in hot, higher than expected, I'm very much looking for somewhat of an aggressive sell-off. If it comes in cooler than expected, I'm very much expecting an aggressive pop to the upside. So basically, it is a high stakes game of flipping a quarter. And before we get to it, in a comment below, I want your best guess. I get it. We're playing a 50-50 game, but it's a fun game. Do you think the market's about to rocket and post another new all-time high? Or do you think that the official high is in and we're about to pull back from it? I would love to hear from you in a comment below. That's what I got for you today. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.